Hello, 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 hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to tonight's live. It's a little early, a little bit of an early live, but I had some things to do. So I wanted to get in here kind of early. So welcome on in, everybody. See if I can get to the chat. You heard about the guy being a scientist too? Y'all on Apple? Me too. I just heard that though. So I'm wondering if that's true. Could be, could be, could be. Welcome in, everyone. It is Friday. Yay. Friday. That means everybody usually is off for the weekend. If you're not off for the weekend, I'm sorry. That means you probably work a job like I used to work, and that's service industry. Because usually people in the service industry, they don't get weekends off. But it's good to see everybody. Kind of going to the top just to see who's all here. I had to, I had it at 6:15, and then I made it at 6:30. Everyone's like, why is the time changing? So, well, welcome in. Hey, Reba. Hey, Steve. Reba's on a different account, she said. She's hiding. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Positive Vibes. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Treese. Welcome on in, KDP and everybody else. Christina Ray. So we're going to be covering a new case tonight. But if you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit the like button. That way we can get into the algorithm, maybe push the video out. I know a couple creators are covering it, but I don't really see a whole lot when you look through Google. Like when you're searching Google, it's literally just News Nation that's picked it up, and then the local station. So we always like it when we Google and we see YouTube on there, YouTube people. But this is going to be a new case. I do have a timeline that we can go over. It's not very long of a timeline because we don't have much to go by. So, but we will. You'll know this case by the end of it. Positive Vibes. It's a new one, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because there's such a mystery to it. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to throw the link for the membership in the chat. I'll throw it in there throughout the live if you guys would like to join our channel membership. We'd love to have you. And if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll try to answer them for you as best as I can. But just like I said, this is a really new case. So let me pull up this is who we're going to be talking about tonight, so you guys know like who we talking about, what's going on. These are going to be their three friends, David Harrington, Clayton McKinney, and Ricky Johnson. And they're pictured here. And three buddies, Kansas City Chiefs fans, good friends. They decide to go to another friend's house to watch the Kansas City game, and they never returned home after that. So they are three friends, diehard football guys, go to another friend's house, watching a football game, just watching a football game like a lot of people do. And these three guys never showed up back home. So one of these guys, his fiancés, was like, well, that's not good enough for me. So she went looking for him. Sounds like something I would be doing, be knocking on all the doors. She went looking for him, and she decided, I guess she saw his vehicle there, and she was like, well, he has to be here. And he wasn't answering her phone calls or texts. So she broke in the house. Now that does sound like some stuff I would have done back in my 20s. I don't know if I would have done that now, but I probably would have in my 20s. Or I would have had one of my friends bust in for me, and I would have followed him in. But when she busted in through the basement, she broke in through the basement. She must have come up maybe through the basement stairs. She saw on the back porch that there was a dead body. So that's when she called the police, and the police came, and then they discovered two more men in the backyard. So that's kind of what we have right now, a little in a nutshell. But I'll go over this timeline with you guys, and we'll get started. So like I said, these are the three friends. David is on the left here. We've got Clayton in the middle, and then Ricky on the right. And I'll give you a little bit about the background. The initial gathering was on Sunday, January the 7th. So it's been a little while. So the 7th. So David Harrington, 37, 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, and 36-year-old Clayton McKinney went to a friend's house to watch the Kansas City Chiefs game. The game kicked off at 3:25 p.m. Central Time and ended almost exactly 3 hours later. So 6:25 p.m. Game's over. And that's according to a post on the team's social media. For the next 50 hours or so, No, like none of their loved ones hear from any of the three men. 50 hours. Now, maybe I would have broken the house, actually. I probably would have been there before 50 hours, though. Homeowner was home. Homeowner said, well, I didn't even know that they were here. Isn't this crazy? And this is in Kansas. And this one's it's good. It's a different one, guys. It's different. Because going to a football game in a friend's house is usually pretty like laid back. You have some beers, you cheer at the TV, you have some chicken wings, and you like hang out with the boys. That's what I think they do anyway. But in this case, something happened that interfered with them in the game. You know what I mean? Like sometime within that night, and made these three men go outside where they ultimately succumbed to the elements of being outside. As far as we know, they were frozen because the cops are not investigating this as like a possible homicide. This math ain't mathin', Miriam, not at all. Do you think he moved them? Let me see here. What's I gonna let me see. Wanted to look something up really quick. Of course, I can't type very fast. Okay. We'll go back to the timeline. So it says on Tuesday, January 9th. So they were like, okay, so that's 50 hours or so, approximately 50 hours. Now, if that was Vincent, if he wasn't home like before the game was over, I know his personality, then I would be like suspicious. You know what I mean? I wonder how they were doing, like how the family members are. I mean, they were probably going nuts. So then Tuesday comes around. The fiance of one of the men showed up at the home and started banging on the door, but no one answered. She broke through the basement, found one man dead on the back porch, and called the police, who found the other two men also deceased in the backyard. Police issued a statement the next morning saying they found no obvious signs of foul play. A search warrant wasn't required to enter the residence because the homeowner's being cooperative. Well, how do you explain three people in your backyard? I'm pulled both ways, because maybe the guy didn't look out the back door, but then why was he dodging phone calls? You know what I mean? Like they were there knocking on the door. He's dodging them. It's very weird. It's like I could go with the homeowner's excuse that maybe he didn't see them if they had all left the night before together. You know what I mean? Like they were like, oh, bye buddies. See you later, buddies. They had an exchange. All three men left. And then, he was there. But yeah, did they not notice the cars in the driveway? That's what I was wondering too. I'm wondering, were these men, did they all drive together? Did they drive separately? I have so many questions. That only means, they weren't shot or stabbed. No obvious signs. Yeah. So there's no obvious signs. So I don't know what I'm thinking now. The more and more I learn about this case, the more I don't know. But I was thinking in the beginning, what if these guys, they're at their buddy's house, they're watching the football game. What if they went and they got some recreational, or they're not, that's not really recreational, but some drugs to use for recreational use, they're like, let's just go get something for tonight. One of those kind of deals. The only thing is, why didn't the fourth guy do it with the other three people? Do you know what I mean? Like, why was he the one man out that nothing happened to him? It's extremely weird. So then it brings us to Friday, January 12th. The three victims' bodies were identified. And then ongoing investigation. This was on Thursday, January 18th. Jacob Benciana, a spokesperson, I can't say his name, for the Kansas City Police Department, told news outlets that the next phase in the investigation would be to receive the medical examiner's determination of cause of death. That would be the thing that would drive any additional investigative steps. There is no change in the preliminary investigative findings. There have not been any signs, indications of foul play. So I guess you wouldn't really see if anybody walked up to the bodies if it was snowing and continued to snow. But they were saying that there was like no disturbances around them. But what would make 3 guys walk out and drop dead? Other than drugs. But who would do drugs right before they leave a party? No one does that. No one usually does the drugs right before they're getting ready to leave. They do them while they're at the party, you know, like you would think that they would have done these like earlier in the day. I mean, the game started at 3:25 p.m. or 3:25 p.m. So I would have been done drinking by, probably 5:30, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I would have been like toasted, you know what I mean? Because I'm one of those people, if I'm going to watch a game and I'm going to drink, I'm going to get drunk. I don't drink, but you know what I mean? I'm going to get drunk. So I'm going to feel good during the game. And then I'm going to let it like wear off, but I don't know. I haven't heard it was a party either. No, just the 3, just the 4 people. Maybe one more person. I don't know. Maybe another person, but as far as we know, there was just 4. And now 3 of the 4 are not here. It's just weird. January 16th, autopsies were conducted on all 3 men, and the results are pending. And they said, I believe it takes up to like 30 days to get the results. So it could be a little while before we get the results. And then this is like key issues that people want clarity on, like within this case. Did these 3 men actually freeze to death? Was it something else? Why was the homeowner allegedly ignoring someone banging on his door? And what evidence did police have to almost immediately roll out a homicide investigation? Now, some of these, I don't know, man. I'm such an introvert. If someone was knocking on my door, I probably wouldn't answer it neither. Actually, I know I wouldn't. I'm weird like that. I'm weird. I'll admit it. I mean, like, I won't even go to the peephole. Like, but I have a thing with doors and knocking. You know what I mean? Like, I just have a thing where I don't like people that come by that don't tell me when they're coming by. It's always bad news when that happens, unexpectedly, it seems like. So I could almost see like him being like not answering the door for that reason. But then it's like these 3 men left your house. Their cars have got to be there. Did you not leave for 50 some hours? Did you not leave your house? Because I mean, even me as being the most introverted person in the world, it seems like I still go out of my house every day. Pretty much every day. I mean, to walk the dogs, obviously, but usually I, go Target every day. Probably going there tonight. Exactly. Like even weed. That's what I mean. Like it could have been something small. Like they decided to get some weed or maybe a little bit of, the white stuff. Like, hey, we're buddies. We don't do this normally. We always, we work hard. Let's play a little hard tonight. And then something happened. The only thing is, why didn't the 4th guy participate in if that's what it was, That's what it was. DM said, I'm not a fan of drop-ins either, Tanya. I hate that. Yeah, remember that, Tanya, to come in. Yeah, let me know when you're coming or I'm not going to answer it. I won't answer. I never do. I always text Vincent. I'm like, who did you call? Or who is here? Because he has the ring app. Yes, Perry said, the fact that the fiance physically forced herself onto the property and discovered him says a lot for me. Something was clearly desperately wrong, and he ignored their attempts at contact. Yeah, because that's exactly who you're going to go to first. I mean, you're going to go probably to the 3 friends because they're buds. You're calling them. You're not getting responses. I mean, I wonder how much time went by where they finally were like, wait a second, none of them are coming home. None of them been home. Extreme blonde. I hate drop-ins. I need a bra, makeup, and the ability to pick up the house beforehand. That sounds like me. I'm like, who is here? And the house is usually always clean, but it's not clean because it's like I'm cleaning it, so I'm in the process. So how old are they? Let me check their ages again for you. They're in their 30s, very young, 36 to 38, I believe. Do I not have it on here? Okay, here we go. So David was 37, Ricky 38, and Clayton was 36. So 36, 37, 38. Probably grew up together. You know what I mean? Probably grew up together, probably were friends growing up. I could just see that, they look like men's men. So this is going to give us a little bit more. It's a video that this is one of the first videos that came out when this case first broke. And this is from their local channel here. This looks like she entered through the front window. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was like this. It's been in a couple pictures, but the screen's just like on the ground, just hanging out right there. That almost looks like that's where she would have entered. Because you can't even, how did she, hold on a second. This house doesn't even have a basement. This house doesn't even look like it has a basement. So, this is weird. She had to have broken in the front door, front window. Because, I mean, like, the front window, the screen's down, and I don't see where she could have went around to the back. Because if she went to the backyard, she would have saw the two dead men there before or the one on the porch, you would think. So they went in through the window. Yeah, because people were saying the basement. That's where I was getting a lot of it. A lot of people were saying basement, but I don't see any windows for a basement or even where you could go around to the side to get to a basement.
This home.
The back door, she would have went to the back porch or near the back porch. Wouldn't she have seen the other two or the person? Very strange. I mean, these guys were very young. Very young. You've got David, what was it, 37? I have to look at my thing. Clayton was 36, and then Ricky might have been the one that was 38. Well, maybe I switched these guys' ages up, but 36, 37, 38. Very young. Very young. I don't get it. Yeah, Sarah. Maybe it was carbon monoxide. Well, they were outside, and one's alive. I'm sure the dude that owned the house didn't just let these three hang out in his house by themselves, and then they went outside after they died of carbon monoxide. I don't know. So Mystic, these are three guys, basically three guys, buddies, went to go watch the Kansas City game over at another buddy's house. They never came home. 50 hours goes by. The fiance of one of the guys was like, can't find my man. She goes over, breaks in because they're not answering the door. And obviously she probably saw his car there. So that's probably why she broke in. You know what I mean? To get like, okay, his car's here. I'm breaking in. I'm getting in that house. I could see that, I could see that. And so she breaks in. She ends up finding one man on the back porch dead. And then the other two police find in the backyard. Now, I'm wondering where they were in the backyard. And I'm wondering if they all drove or if just one of them drove. Thank you, Letitia. Letitia. I think I said that wrong. Eric said this is no accident. I could see you, Libra Moon. I could see you. Crazy Grandma said this case drove off with me. I mean, see, I don't know. It's very strange. I mean, you got three guys literally, they're all there just to hang out and have a good time. It says here, two friends of the men who spoke with Inside Edition Digital say Ricky Johnson, David Harrington, and Clayton McKinney had all gone to the house on Sunday to watch the Kansas City Chiefs game, and no one had heard from them since that time. And this was published on January 15th. So it says three Missouri men went to watch a football game at a house in Kansas City, safe friends and family. 3 days later, those three friends were found dead outside the home. Days after the bodies of these men were discovered, the Kansas City Police Department is revealing their identities. 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, 37-year-old David Harrington, and 36-year-old Clayton McKinney. The bodies of all three men were discovered late Tuesday night when McKinney's fiance, so it was her, McKinney's fiance, went to the house looking for the men, according to the spokesperson for the Kansas City Police Department. I'm wondering if the other two men have significant others or not. Two friends of the three men who spoke with Inside Edition say that the three men had all gone to the house on Sunday to watch the Kansas City Chiefs game, and no one had heard from them ever since that time. Those friends who claim that calls to the person who is currently living in the house went unanswered in the days after the game, an allegation police would not comment on at this time. There was no answer at the door on Tuesday night, so McGinney's fiance broke into the basement of the residence, a police spokesperson tells Inside Edition. She discovered the first dead body on the back porch, according to the police spokesperson. Officers responded to the scene a short time later, and upon further investigation, located 2 other dead bodies in the backyard, says the police spokesperson. The person living in the home has not been charged with a crime. There was no obvious signs of foul play, and investigators are still waiting for the medical examiner report to shed more light on what happened. I mean, if you have 3 bodies just hanging out in your backyard, I think that you should be at the police station answering questions and being hooked up to a polygraph or something. You're not going home. You're not going to I don't know. It's just, they literally found the bodies. They're like, oh, okay, we're just going to collect these here in your backyard. And then we'll be back for you later if we need to. It's crazy. Yeah, the talks report, extreme bond. It's going to be so important. I cannot wait to, if that report is clean, then that's a mess. That's going to be a big mess. It says there's no more information available at this time. And the police spokesperson said a search warrant is being obtained for the residence. Police also have not commented or have not comment on the claim being made by Furious friends and family. So I wonder if that search warrant is available yet. Probably not, but because I haven't seen it. But when it is, I'll make sure we read it. It says, this man, redacted, was inside his home alive while my friends were dead in his yard for Lord knows how long. They were all hanging out since after the game Sunday. He knew people were looking for them, wrote Kaylee Latier on Facebook. He read messages of people searching for him on Tuesday. My husband banged on his door for 20 minutes. My friend banged on his door and then busted a window and yelled and announced her presence while she was inside, and still nothing from him. Then the cops came 10 minutes later, and he comes out nonchalant in his boxers with an empty wine glass in his hand. Another friend made a similar claim on her Facebook. She says, 3 men do not just go outside and freeze to death while the owner of the home, their friend, stays inside, and only when police show up, come outside in boxers like you've just been chilling for 2 days while your 3 friends are dead outside, says Lindsay Ray Baldwin. Make noise here, people. This story is not okay. He has not been contacted for over 24 hours prior about where our friends were, and also their cars still parked at his house, and didn't reply to anyone. Their cars. So yeah, they're all 3 drove. I would say usually in your 30s, you usually drive yourself. Like, usually don't pick up your buddies, but Wow. Let's see. It says the mother of David Harrington, Jennifer Markey, told Fox 4 that the person living in the home allegedly told police that his friends froze to death. That's not a good look. Now I'm wondering if that's before or after the police said your friends are outside and on the ground, frozen. You know what I mean? And then he just regurgitated it. Oh my gosh, my friends froze to death. I wonder how the context of that went. It says, I'm furious. Everybody is furious, says Marquis. Nobody believes this story. None of his friends, none of the families, none of us believe. Inside Edition reached out to the person living in the home multiple times, but did not respond to a request for comment. The family of Ricky Johnson, a married father of 3, oh, that's sad, has started a GoFundMe to help with funeral expenses. So they did have other the other men did have, wives or girlfriends, and that's very sad. That's very sad. That's like the easiest thing for a guy to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to my buddies, going to go watch the football game, honey. Okay. She's probably thinking, damn, I got 3 hours to myself. You know what I mean? She's probably like, I'm going to take a hot bath. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Not knowing you're never going to see your partner again. Oh my gosh. Yeah, if you're freezing, you would be definitely knocking on doors and getting in somewhere. So our good friend over at News Nation, Ashley Banfield, of course, she had something to say about Fahrenheit. Oh, so we're going to listen to her. This was from the other night because she's wearing the same top.
On you again, because tomorrow in my hometown of Winnipeg, north of North Dakota, the high temperature will be 0 Fahrenheit, the high. And the overnight low will be -5. And that in Canada, in Winnipeg, is what we call Thursday. It's not a problem for us up there. That's standard op. I grew up that way. That's like an average winter day. We bundled up like Kenny from South Park and off we went to school and work, and we knew how to survive it. But we also knew this: it could kill you if you mess around. So don't get drunk and pass out in a snowbank, because you can literally die. Which brings me to Kansas City. It's a place where I don't usually think that kind of thing can happen, but never say never. Because police there say 3 friends, die-hard Kansas City Chiefs fans, got together at their buddy's house 2 Sundays ago to watch the Chiefs take on the Las Vegas Raiders. And that was the last anyone heard from them. From David Harrington, from Clayton McGeeney, and from Ricky Johnson. For 2 whole days. Friends and family just kept calling and searching for these guys. Until one family member decided, hey, let's go check back at the house where they watched the game. And wouldn't you know it, they found all 3 men dead. Frozen on the back porch and in the backyard. Weird, I know, but here's where it gets even weirder. The buddy who was hosting the football night, he did not have much to say except they froze to death. Again, there is a scene from The Shining in his backyard. They froze to death. So the families of those 3 men rightfully want more answers, and that is where Malik Jackson comes in. He is a reporter at Kansas City.
I'm going to interrupt her for a second. I was looking online about how long it takes you to freeze to death. And did you all know that you could be freezing in like 50 to 60 degrees? Like, I didn't even know that. But this is from Dr. Jeff Hirsch, The Cold Hard Facts About Hypothermia. It says here, 50 to 60 degrees can cause death in 1 to 6 hours. I don't know about that. But it says 40 to 50 degrees can cause death in 1 to 3 hours. 32 to 40 degrees can cause death in 30 to 90 minutes. 32 degrees or less can cause death in as little as 15 to 45 minutes. And this is from, here, I can share this tab here with you. Let me close off that video. And it's just, this is where I found it. The State of Journal register. But yeah, it says right here. Isn't that I guess if you're just out there, not going in, I don't know. I guess I'm always used to going back inside, but now I feel like I need to do an experiment. I don't want to die though. But it says like right now it's 15 degrees where I'm at. So I don't know what the weather was at like that 9. I should have looked that up, but yeah, wow. I didn't know that. So I'm glad you asked that question. That was a good question to ask. Let me go back over here and we'll continue to watch this.
City's Fox 4 News, and
I'll look up some more information about
since
that.
It broke. Look, I don't know how the police are investigating this case, Malik, but I would be really suspect if all the host of the party could say was they froze to death and not much more. What am I missing?
Yeah, it's a story that we really don't understand. It really doesn't make sense. And for full transparency, we've reached out to KCPD, the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, and they seem to be bewildered too, because as you were speaking about being from Canada and the temperature being low, it has been cold here over the last few days with this Arctic blast that moved in. But that particular Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the high temperatures were over 40 degrees. So it is really interesting how they would have frozen to death. More importantly, they're at their best friend's house. So if they're at their best friend's house outside, if they get cold, theoretically, you'd think you could go inside of the home. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions, Ashley.
And look, we saw the pictures, and it's pretty clear these are not elderly people. They're not
No,
disabled
they're big
people. They're
guys.
not kids. They're 36, 37, and 38 years old, prime of their life. The homeowner in this case, has anybody said like that he might be a suspect here? Like, is there at least an investigation where something sounds hinky, so we're doing something about it?
So there is an open investigation, and right now police haven't named a suspect or even a person of interest in this case just yet. We do know that the day that that Fox 4 was able to break this story, that we were able to make contact with his family. And that's how we figured out that he was telling his family members that his friends froze to death. But over the last weekend, a viewer sent us a tip, and there was a U-Haul outside of the home just this last weekend. So it begs the question, where is he? And the only person that could answer that is him right now. But
Wow.
Like, where's he at? Where you at, bro? U-Haul? What do you mean? Were you planning on moving before this? Was this a new thing? But all of a sudden, I mean, and who be moving in this kind of weather? Who wants to move in this kind of weather? Nobody. Not me. Our lease ends in October, and that's why we've been here so long. And that's in October because we don't want to move. Not just because I feel lazy. I'm like, it's my birthday month. It's crazy.
no,
Where's he at? Where'd you go,
no
bro?
suspect. There's no person of interest that the police department has enlightened us about at this point.
Okay, you are a great reporter. You were able to talk to the mother of David Harrington. Her name is Jennifer Marquez. How is she digesting what the police are saying
I
to
said her
her?
last name wrong. Sorry about that.
I mean, it's difficult. She just doesn't understand how this could have happened. As we talked about at the top, it just really doesn't make sense. And she's in that state right now. And speaking of state, she lives out of state. So she's in Arkansas. I actually spoke with her again on the phone today. She's making her way up to Kansas City, but this was her oldest child. He wasn't even supposed to be born. So she calls him her miracle baby. And now he dies in this weird manner, and she wants answers. We spoke exclusively, with her last week, and here's what she told us. Take a listen.
Everybody's furious. Nobody believes this story. None of his friends, none of the families, none of us believe it. Only the police. Only the police are saying that there's no foul play. Only the police who contacted me today are saying that the story that is saying makes sense.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
I hate when Banfield does that. I always try to get her right before she's getting ready to do that, but it always seems like I'm in the text box. So News Nation's really covered this story like more in depth than anybody I've seen. And there's some cases I wish they would cover and they don't cover, but they've been covering this one. So I'm glad they have, because it hasn't really been out there like I haven't seen Law and Crime or Court TV or anything like that pick it up yet. So hopefully they'll pick it up as well, because this is very strange. Like, it's point blank period. It is strange. So this was, I think this was yesterday morning. I watched this on Morning in America. And she just goes over the timeline. And I believe this is the video where she actually interviews the guys. They have a friend, and she interviews her. And it was a really good interview. I mean, any way you look at it, it's going to have to, it's foul play. 3 healthy men, adult men in their 30s, don't just go outside and lay down and die after they've been watching a football game and having some beers, like, and those 2 of those guys are pretty big. They look like they can handle their alcohol. They, they don't look like they're going to just be all drunk and messy. I don't know. I don't see that.
There are still so many unanswered questions after 3 men were found dead outside of a Kansas City home last week. David Harrington, Ricky Johnson, and Clayton McGeeney reportedly went to a friend's house, these buddies got together to watch the Chiefs game, and they never made it home. That was on Sunday, January 7th. And 2 days later, after no luck with getting hold of the man who hosted the gathering, the fiance of one of those men broke into that house and found one of the bodies on the back porch. Police found 2 more in the backyard. The homeowner was reportedly at the house and spoke with police. He was not arrested, not been named the suspect. By the next day, police ruled out any foul play, affirming that this is a death investigation and not a homicide case. But they have not revealed what led them to that very conclusion. And joining us now, we want to bring in Natalie Kay. She was friends with David, Ricky, and Clayton. Natalie, words are failing me here. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you.
What has the last week been like for you after learning the news, and how are you holding up? I know you're close with these three.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I feel like it's, obviously it's three people, so this is a huge loss. A lot of family and friends have a lot of questions that unfortunately haven't been answered yet. And I think at this point, most of us are really just hoping to be able to get some of those answers and understand some of the inconsistencies and what happened here so that we can, have peace and understand, what happened.
Yeah. And I think for all of us following this story, whether you knew them or you're like me, you're following this story from afar, something doesn't add up here. I mean, three guys don't just get together and freeze to death while they're watching a Chiefs game, which is what the guy who lives at that home told police. What's your gut check telling you, Natalie?
I think it's important to note that these men were all friends. And so I think initially, no one wanted to speculate that anything.
I will point out, though, with all the interviews I've seen, no one has said these guys would never do drugs. Like, I haven't heard, even the mom, and I haven't heard any of them say, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm not saying, I don't think any of these guys were active users or actively using all the time or anything, but they don't come out and say that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm wondering if in their mind, they're thinking that that could be a possibility also, but it still is like the one guy, did he just not to partake in the recreational use? Maybe he doesn't do them. Maybe he doesn't do drugs. Maybe he just does this drug, not that drug. I don't know. But that part is what gets me. Usually everybody does it. If one person gets it, usually everybody partakes in the fun, I would think. If you've got four people there, four people probably would do it. But I don't know. That's not this in the case. And maybe she does say it, and I didn't hear her the first time I listened to this, but I haven't heard anyone say like it's definitely not drugs. Like it cannot be. So that's what makes me think it could be like something that was laced, and they decided to get something like maybe, like I said, like this, some white stuff, and it wasn't what they ordered. It ended up being like fentanyl. And yeah, I was on fentanyl after my car accident, but it was the patches. It was like fentanyl patches, like pain patches, and they were terrible. I was off of them within like 2 weeks. They didn't work for me, but they do mess you up real bad. Like I know I was sitting outside in the heat one day. They tell you not to go in the hot sun. You can't get in the hot tub, hot showers. Like can't be too hot because it'll start your heart rate, and then you can have like a heart attack or something. I don't know. They tell you to keep the to flush the wrappers because your animals can lick them and get hurt. So there's a lot of stuff that they tell you to do when you're on that. So I'm wondering if it could be something like that. I'm just assuming that fentanyl's a lot cheaper.
Anything intentional
I don't know a
or
lot about
malicious
it.
that happened. I think that's fair to the fourth party to state, but I think at some point something went terribly wrong, and unfortunately there was a party here that was alive and well, and I think that there was a lack of regard, maybe out of fear of consequence, out of fear that it might implicate him. I think that to make a blanket statement that these men froze to death is unfair.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's the case, to be very honest. I mean, I'm not the scientist here, but I feel to imply that three adult men with access to a home and access to their vehicles would, all simultaneously freeze to death in 39-degree weather at the same time is highly unlikely.
Yeah. What more can you, when you say this fourth party, I believe you're talking about the guy who lives at the home who told police that his friends froze to death. Can you share any more insight about their relationship, how they knew one another? And also, have you been given any more details as to how he didn't know these bodies were in the backyard, or why he didn't report that they were in the backyard for days on end?
I actually did not know this man personally, was friends with all of the boys, but I only know of him. I've heard he's a very intelligent man. I've heard he is by no means stupid. He's a scientist, you know. I know that they had all been friends for some years. And, you know, I think the big questions everybody has are, you know, the inconsistencies in the story. How can you be in your home for 2 days and not know that, you know, all of these people who they were adults, they were responsible for themselves. But at some point, Tuesday, he was made aware early in the day, messages that he did read, that, you know, at least 2 of these men didn't make it home. So at that point, you have to ask the question, you know, would you not get up and look outside to see if their cars are there, you know, make your way through the house, reach out to any of these friends that were looking for them. And unfortunately, he didn't do that.
Yeah, something just feels off about this whole story. And thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Do you think that the friend, like the dude, like the science guy or whatever, do you think that he could have maybe walked out or maybe at one point saw the bodies there and then he just like turned around and was like, I'm not going to deal with that? I mean, I don't know what kind of brain you would have to function like that, but it's like the homeowner almost knew that they were out there because he's ignoring everybody until the cops finally come in. And then he walks out in his underwear with an empty glass of wine. I wonder what time of the day this was. Like when did they bust in? And why is he just drinking wine, hanging around? I mean, to each their own, but not when you have 3 dead people outside, you know? So crazy. This is like, I don't even know what kind of vibes this is even giving me. So Vanilla, the autopsy should tell us. It should at least give us the toxicology reports will at least give us what was in their system at the time that they, you know, they died. Hopefully it will. Now, I don't know how that kind of stuff works with it being frozen outside, if it would help preserve or if it would end up harming, like, you know, the samples that they would need. That, you know, or if you're out there for so long, if you're out there for 50 hours, would the drugs already come out of their body? I'm assuming not, because they're just laying there dormant. They're not like, you know, getting it out anyway. Like, I don't know. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He didn't want to answer the phone or the door. He was like, I'm just going to stay over here in my boxers in my bedroom. And like them saying that he walked out nonchalantly after the cops got there, that tells me that he knew that people were there trying to find their friends. Like, I mean, that's what that tells me. You know, he was just going on with life. I don't know. I wonder if he did have a girlfriend. Wonder if the guy that owned the house had a girlfriend. I don't think I got to watch this one. I don't think I did. But we'll watch this one together. It's like 3 minutes long. Maybe Dan Abrams will give us some more insight. This was from last night. And then I'm going to look on Twitter and see if there's anything new that's out there.
A bizarre story out of Kansas City
See what I
remains
can
a
find.
mystery tonight. 3 men found dead outside of a friend's home after they'd all gone over to watch the Chiefs game with him last Sunday. The living friend, whose home they had gone to, never contacted the police, claiming the 3 men, identified as 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, 37-year-old David Harrington, and 36-year-old Clayton McGinney, froze to death outside of his home. According to Kansas City police,
Be careful
loved
driving,
ones were
Juju.
trying to get in touch with the men, but were not getting responses. That's when the fiance of one of them went to the home. No one answered the front door. The woman broke through a basement window and found a body on the back porch. 2 other bodies were found by the police in the backyard shortly after. Now, some family and friends are not buying the explanation that, you know, 3 guys just freeze to death outside someone's home when they went to watch a football game. David Harrington's mother, Jennifer Marquez, recently spoke to our Kansas City affiliate to air her frustrations.
I'm furious. Everybody's furious. Nobody believes this story.
Friends of the 3 men also took to social media to air their anger. One friend saying, "This man was inside his home alive. All my friends were dead in his yard for Lord knows how long. They were all hanging out since after the game Sunday. He knew people were looking for them. He read messages of people searching for him on Tuesday. My husband banged on his door for 20 minutes. My friend banged on a door and then busted a window and yelled and announced her presence while she's inside, and still nothing from him. Then the cops come 10 minutes later and he comes out nonchalant in his boxers with an empty wine glass in his hand. Nothing is adding up. Dave, Clay, and Ricky need and deserve justice. They didn't deserve this. Autopsy results are currently pending, but as of now, the police are saying no signs of foul play. And they're not treating this as a homicide investigation. That seems curious, right? They just died? They just froze? I'm sure we're going to get more information once the autopsies come out, but I'm even trying to think about how this could happen, right? They go to the game, they watch the game, they go outside, they can't get back into the house, but what, none of them had cell phones? I mean, I just don't understand it. Anyway, big show tomorrow. We're covering all things crime, hitting everything from the stunning news out of the Scott Peterson case that the Innocence Project is now representing him, to the upcoming Alex Murdaugh hearing, how Gypsy Rose Blanchard has gone viral since her release from prison, Geraldo Rivera, Ashley Banfield, Jesse Weber. How's that for an all-star?
Well, that's an all-star team. Thank you, Libra Mover, sending me his address information. That's a good idea. I was looking at it during the thing, and I'm like, oh, this house looks old. But, you know, that's just me. It's off the market. $329,000 for this home. Not a day in my life. Not a day in my life. This house looks very outdated for $329,000. That's just my opinion. Man. We should track the sales activity. Did they sell it? It says off the market, but I wonder if it's off the market because he owns it or if he sold it. And I wonder when he sold it. Oh, so Sarah, all I know is the Innocent Project is picking up the Scott Peterson case. That's all I know about it. Yeah, we talked about it on the live the other night. I was going to make a short video, and then I didn't. I should have done that. And sometimes I feel like everyone knows something, and then I don't think about it. They can't find his wallet, phone, and keys. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to probably get on their social media, huh? So this is the house. I'm wondering how she got to that basement. Unless she went through the back gate, but she just didn't see the guys or the person on the porch before she got into, like, you know what I mean, until the basement window. Yeah, this is very outdated. Look at the picture of the family. I don't mean to dox you guys. It's a big family. It's crooked. Okay, that staircase, that would get me. That gets me, that my OCD is kicking in. Is that crooked or is it just me? Or am I crooked? Is it just slightly turned? Who decided to slightly turn the stairs like that? Who decided to do that? That would get all my, I'd want to straighten that thing out. Yeah, I'd be kicking this bottom step all the time. Looks like that was it. That's what they were doing. Look at all the windows. Yeah, lots of windows. Like, you got them on the side. You got them. They're pretty, like, long, too. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one. Okay, sorry about that. That was Vincent. Vincent's home. He was trying to come in quietly, and he probably texted me, and I didn't see it. I have my phone ringer and everything up. Huh. So this is like maybe this is like maybe this is the basement she was talking about. Like, this house almost looks like a tri-level. Because they're not, see how you're not underneath the ground? You're still above ground. Was that a map? Map of something. Not like this is his place. I don't think this is his decorations, but don't know. Would you guys spend $329,000? Like the furniture's even outdated. It looks like almost like the furniture they bought when they bought the house. But I guess that's what people do. Look at I don't know. I'm judgy. I'm just like, what are these lights right here? I don't know. Why are those lights right there? Those lights look weird to me right there above the toilet, but they're not even centered to the toilet. They're just kind of off to the side. I don't know if they did, if they had liability or not. Really? Man, I bet I don't know. Just too expensive, I think. Maybe their location or something. I mean, the house is pretty large, though. We'll have to see how many square feet it is. But all that carpet, oh man, look at all that carpet. I don't have an ounce of carpet just because of my dogs. Who designed this house with the toilet right in front of the shower like that? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Maybe we need to start doing homeowner reviews. Look, a lot of bedrooms. I want to get to this basement picture. A little office. Yeah, this is what I just want to see. Because I thought maybe they made this, you know what I mean? Guys usually make like their basements into their own thing. But now this could definitely be in the basement. I don't know if this is above ground. I don't think it is because the windows are so small. So this must have been where she went in. Down through here somewhere. Let me go back. Like maybe this window right here. Let's see. What else do we got? Oh, there's the back. So look at all these. Yeah. Look at all the windows. Look at the door with the window. Even has a doggy door. Good golly. And the yard isn't that big. The yard's smaller in the back than I actually thought. You didn't see anybody out there, dude? That's crazy. Oh, wait, we got a few more. So this is the whole yard right here. You mean to tell me you didn't see 3 grown men out here? Oh, there's the whole property right there. What is that, like an acre and a half maybe? We can see when we go back. 2,900 square feet. And I don't see where it has the acre, like how many acres. Oh, 0.28 acres. Less than I thought. A lot less than I thought. So yeah. Wow. So that's really all that's like out on the story right now. His mom's like one of the, I believe it's Ricky's mom has been out doing interviews. I need to get on the social medias and start hitting that hard and then see if they have the search warrant available. And it's just crazy. Like I mean, if they were in trouble, you would think that they would be calling out, but they weren't doing that. They literally just laid down and died. That makes zero sense, you know? And when I went on to Twitter or X, whatever you call it, there's nothing really on there. Like, I mean, people are talking about it, not like usually like with cases like this, you know what I mean? The only thing that I could think of is they overdose somehow, but I don't even know how that would even happen when the one person didn't even do it. And thank you so much, Libra, for sending me this. I appreciate that. He probably rented the house. Yeah, I would say. Well, if he was a scientist, he might have owned it, but I don't know. You have to get paid pretty good, you know, to own a house, $329,000. I don't know what the house payments would be each month, but that's pretty expensive, I would say. You get 3.5 baths, 4 bedrooms, though. You always have roommates. Oh, wait, last listed, and it was closed on February 26, 2021. So that means dude lived there for 2 years and he's moving out of his house? That's suspicious. You've heard it's a rental? Because it says on here closed, but that could have been when like the owner closed on it and then they're renting the property out now. I was just seeing if there's anything else on there. There's not. But no, I'm going to keep my eyes and my ears peeled on this one, and I'll let you guys know if there's any updates that come out. And then tomorrow, what was I wanted to do tomorrow? Oh, we're going to revisit. I think we're going to revisit the Rachel Morin case and just, revive that case. Nancy Grace came out with a new video on it, and I thought that'd be a good one to cover. That way we could get, the spotlight out. And then Sunday or Monday, I want to finish up Chelsea Grimm. Want to get her name back out there, get her story back out there, get people to be listening. I'm assuming the other person that didn't want me to cover it now doesn't really mind because they haven't covered it in months. So we'll cover it here. We'll make sure we get her name out there, and I'll check Twitter and all that stuff, see where they're at with their investigation, because they're out there still searching for her as well. So I will see you guys all on the live tomorrow. Just think tomorrow my new furniture is coming. So yay for me, So I'm going to jump off here. That's why I wanted to do the live a little earlier tonight, because I want to jump off here, do some things, have Vincent do some things before tomorrow morning rolls around. But stay warm, guys. Don't forget to like the video. That way it gets pushed out. More people can see it. That way more people know about the case. Subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get updated on all the latest updates. We do talk true crime daily here, all the cases. So make sure you're subscribed. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.